All right, here we go. We're going to continue with doing our working drawings. We're making a series of working drawings that are going to go into a presentation that will create a portfolio of our work for the pegboard toy, something that could be handed off to a design team, reviewed, and sent out to the production floor so this could be produced in a factory. What I'm going to work on today, because I said I was going to do this yesterday, is creating the working drawing for the assembly for the mallet. So this is the mallet. This is the two parts that have been constrained together using an insert command. And before I get started with this, I do want to share with you, I have my PowerPoint started. I did clean up my title slide. I got my name on there. I got the title of the project. I got my favorite class period, which is period 7. And then I also have the working drawing for the pegboard base assembly that I did yesterday. In addition to that, I've added a blank slide, which is where I can paste my next working drawing, which is going to be the assembled mallet. So let's go back to Inventor. There's some things I need to do before I convert this into a working drawing. First thing you see is up here, my front view. This is not going to be the front view that I want to use. However, I do want to demonstrate what happens if you use an angled, which is an isometric type view for creating your working drawing. If I go to New, standard IDW, which is the new file type that I showed you in the last video, and create, what you'll see after I edit my sheet size to sheet size A is that when I project my base up here in base and I drag that over, it's too big. So let's try the 1/4 scale. I'm going to show you that this is not a good setup. Front, top, side, isometric, right click, create. That is not a good working drawing. What I have basically is 4 views that all look like isometric views. They all look like the same view. I do not have separate views of true size and shape that show the front, top, and side view. So I'm going to show you how to fix that. I'm going to get rid of this working drawing. Not going to save it. I'm going to fix my mallet. Now, not everyone has to do this. If your front view shows up in the right orientation, then you don't have to do this next step. But this next step, I'm going to do some finagling to get this in the right orientation. So I'm going to kind of trick my drawing a little bit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to create, like I'm going to create a part. I'm just going to give it the default name, and I'm going to click on the top of my mallet. I'm going to click on the pencil, and I'm going to click on the top again to make a work plane. Now that swivels around. I am going to call that, I'm going to change that view. Little arrow over here. I'm going to set current view as top. But I'm not done because I have the mallet handle not on the side I want. So I have that as my front view, but I want my handle to come out the right side. So I'm going to swing this around to back. And this might not necessarily be all the correct steps for you, but this is what's going to work here. This is the orientation that I want for the front view. So I'm going to click on this little arrow. I'm going to set this current view as front. I'm going to go finish sketch, even though I didn't do anything in that sketch plane, and I'm going to click on return. So I do have the sketch plane up here. It's a fake sketch plane because I didn't use it for anything. So I'm going to go over here on this work plane. I'm going to right click. I'm going to turn off that visibility. I think I have a sketch over here. I need to turn off that visibility as well. Okay, so my drawing's cleaned up good. Top view. Get that in the right orientation, so top's right side up. Front view, that is the actual front view that I want. So I'm going to save, click on the little dis icon, so I'm going to save this before I mess it up. Yes to all, because it has more than one component Okay. Now, what I can do, I can go back to New, Standard IDW, and create. Following the steps from yesterday, I'm going to right-click on Sheet, and I'm going to edit that sheet to a sheet size of A. Okay. I'm going to go to Base. My dialog box pops up. I know that the 1/4 scale's been working good, so I'm going to switch back to that. Now, there's a good looking front view right there. There's a good looking top view. A good side view. Here's my isometric up there. I'm going to click, right click, and create. So I have the correct orientation. I have my 3-view orthographic projection, front, top, and side, set nice and flat. I have my isometric there. Now we're going to annotate with some dimensions. I just want to show overall length, width, and height. I'm not going to individually annotate each part with dimensions because I'm going to do that in the following working drawings. I'm going to create a working drawing for each individual part where it's going to have more detailed dimensions in that. That way each drawing doesn't get too busy. You put too much information on a drawing and it's going to confuse folks, because you got to keep in mind, usually the person that is making the object is not the same person that created the drawing. So this has to be good communication. So, dimension tool. Let's start with overall length. Now I want to zoom in, and because of that chamfer, I want to make sure that I'm selecting the very end and the very edge. I'm going to bring that up between the views. Gives me 8.81. Okay. I'm going to zoom in again for height. Make sure you select the very top, the very bottom. I'm going to drag that over between the views. 3 inches, remember? You created that dimension before you used the revolve feature when you were doing the profile for the mallet head. Now let's do, okay, I have length, I have height, I need to do width. So we'll use the mallet head again. We'll do our 2 outside edges here, and we'll bring that up. Might as well line it up. 1.75, which is twice of 0.875, which was the dimension that you used on the profile, which was radius, 0.875 the radius, making the diameter 1.75. So, now what I need to do, this looks good. I'm going to go Save As, and Mallet IDW in my shared folder on the H drive. Perfect. Click Save. Now I need to put this in my presentation. So I got to get a good view of it there. Start menu, snipping tool, line it up in the corner, hold and drag, get just the sheet. Looks good. Edit, copy. Got my presentation up, got my slide ready. Control V to paste it. Then I'm going to stretch it to fit. Drag that out to the edges, makes it very presentable. This is our alternative to printing out just hundreds of pages. We're saving paper by putting it in a PowerPoint. We can view it electronically instead of printing everything off. I'm going to go File, Save. We got that saved. Let's look at this. We're going to go Slideshow. Let's go back. Here's our title slide. Here's our first assembly. Here's our second assembly. Now, what's left from here is our individual parts. I think we're going to have, what do we got? 5 for the base and 2 for the mallet. So we got 7 part files that we're going to create into working drawings. I'll show some of those to you next time. Good luck with this part of the project.